What if I told you that wasting time might actually be the most productive thing you do today? I know, it sounds absurd, because our whole lives we've been told the opposite, that wasting time is the biggest sin of the modern human. You need to be efficient, you need to always be doing something, you need to make the most of every second as if it were your last. And then you get those cliche phrases like, time is money, don't waste your life. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. And all of this creates such pressure that even our moments of rest have turned into checklists. You can't just lie on the couch and stare at the ceiling. No, that would be laziness. You need to meditate for 10 minutes because then it counts as productive rest. You can't just go for a walk with no purpose. You have to have headphones on, listening to an audiobook or podcast because you could be learning while you walk. And that's when we start to feel like doing nothing is a crime. That if you're not sweating, performing, producing, studying, achieving, you're falling behind. And because of that, we've lost the most basic, maybe even the most necessary skill of all, the ability to simply waste time. But hold on, I'm not talking about sinking into the couch, binge-watching shows until you forget the world exists. I'm talking about wasting time in a conscious way, letting your mind wander with no goal, no objective, no weight of, I need to justify this later. Maybe, just maybe, that's the secret we've been ignoring. Think about it. We live in an era where being busy has become a status symbol. It's like saying I don't have time is a badge of honor. You always have a meeting, a project, a goal, an endless to-do list. And then when you finally have a gap in your schedule, you rush to fill it. Because doing nothing feels wrong. It feels wasteful. But here's the funny thing. The more we cram our lives with things to do, the less space we have left for what really matters. Have you noticed that the best ideas never come when you're forcing them? They show up when you're in the shower, lying awake in bed, or staring out the bus window with your mind blank. It's like your brain says, oh, now that you've stopped pressuring me, let me show you something interesting. And that's the twist. Maybe wasting time isn't the villain. Maybe wasting time is exactly what creates space for creativity to show up. It's what allows the pieces you already have in your head to finally fit together. Because think about it, you've already studied a ton, consumed endless information, listened to podcasts, watched videos, read texts. The truth is, everything you need is already in there. But if you never pause, never relax, never allow yourself to do nothing, your brain doesn't even get the chance to organize the puzzle. That's why there's this idea of creative idleness. It's not just a fancy name for laziness, though to be honest, I also use it as an excuse when I'm lazy. But seriously, there are actual studies showing this. Researchers at the University of California followed people trying to solve creative problems. And guess when they had their best ideas? Not when they were focused, sitting right in front of the task, but after a break where they did something seemingly useless, like walking aimlessly or just staring into space. The brain even has a name for this process, the default mode. It's like the mind's active rest. While you think you're doing nothing, your brain is connecting information, reorganizing memories, testing combinations. It's in this space that the famous insight appears. That idea that feels like it came out of nowhere, but was actually inside you all along, just waiting for room to come out. And I'm sure you felt this too. You know when you're practicing something like piano and it just doesn't work. But then the next day you try again and it's a little better? That's not magic. That's your brain working backstage. It's the default mode, still organizing everything, even when you're not practicing. It's like the offline part is just as important as the online part. You plant when you practice, and you harvest when you rest. And when I talk about wasting time the right way, it's not only about sitting still staring at nothing, though that also has its power. Sometimes it's about playing with something that's already part of what you want to get better at, but without the pressure to perform. If you study music, you can sit at the piano and just play anything, without worrying if it's right or wrong, or even just watch someone else play. We learn a lot just by observing. If you write, you can scribble random phrases, not caring about structure, just letting it flow. If you train, you can do some physical activity that's pure fun, like a sport, without thinking about progress or results. This kind of wasted time takes away the pressure and turns practice into pleasure again. But there's also the other side. Wasting time that might look silly, but is essential. Walking alone, no headphones, no music, just listening to the sounds of the street or nature and to your own thoughts. taking a long shower, letting thoughts come and go, lying on the couch, staring at the ceiling with no rush. It's in that empty space that the brain quietly keeps working, reorganizing ideas and connecting dots you didn't even notice. It's the kind of pause that feels unproductive, but often gives you the most energy and creativity afterward. Now, of course, this is very different from wasting time the wrong way, because there's a kind of nothing that recharges and a kind of nothing that drains. Scrolling endlessly, jumping from video to video, you're not resting, you're numbing yourself. You get up after hours and it feels like you gained nothing, just more heaviness. That's the kind of wasted time that really steals your energy. But wasting time the right way, whether it's playing around with something you like or simply doing nothing, that's what creates space for your mind to breathe. It's giving your brain the chance to organize everything you've already put in there. At the end of the day, it's not that you need more time, it's that you need to learn how to waste time better. Because the truth is, you already have so much inside you. You've read, studied, practiced, pushed yourself enough. What's missing, a lot of the time, is giving space for all of it to come together. And that space is born exactly when you're not doing anything. It's in that emptiness that ideas connect, creativity appears, and things start to make sense. So next time you feel guilty for wasting time, remember this. Sometimes doing nothing is exactly what makes everything happen. Now you can either keep watching this video and waste time the wrong way, or waste time the right way. By leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Try it. Waste a minute on that and then let your mind do the rest. Because I'm sure there are big ideas in there just waiting for space to appear.